What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Now, as you all know, here on the channel we tend to focus on like your bigger cryptos, right? Bitcoin, Solana, Jasmine, renders, etc. But I tell you all consistently, my YouTube channel is somewhat of a reflection of what I'm doing as an investor. So if I'm focused on Bitcoins, I talk about Bitcoins. If I'm focusing on small coins and meme coins, I talk about small coins and meme coins. And I like for my YouTube channel to basically be like a reflection of my portfolio almost. So if I'm focusing a ton on pre-sales, then and I'm investing in pre-sales, I'll talk about them here more often. And the reason I'm kind of saying all this right now is because quite recently what I've been noticing and doing is that it seems like we're going into an environment which things are more risk on, if that makes sense, right? I think that with interest rates falling, with things easing, with things kind of getting a bit in a better position, liquidity entering the market, etc., we are in a spot where risk on assets, or just your more risky assets, will do better. And so because of that, what I want to start doing is start slowly tiptoeing my way back into some of these earlier cryptos, obviously your pre-sales, young layer ones, young layer twos, etc. And that's what we're going to be doing today. Now, today we are going to be talking about one that I think is probably going to become a rather frequent here on the channel, and that's Infinaeon. Now, the reason why I say this is because I do personally know some of the people behind the company, behind the project. There are people that I've known for multiple years, and so as a result of that, not only have I invested into them, but I do truly believe that they have the right intentions and that they have all of the right tools to get where they want to go. And so because of that, knowing that they are now part of my portfolio, as I mentioned before, I want to reflect that here on my YouTube channel. That's always the goal. I know you guys like it, so let's continue with it. And so today we're going to be talking again about Infinaeon. Now, what they are is an innovative layer 2 blockchain built on Ethereum, utilizing Ethereum as its native gas currency, similar to Base and Arbitrum. They say this cutting-edge platform introduces a unique mechanism that sets it apart from the other chains, a dynamic allocation of gas fees to a smart contract for multiple purposes. The most important being the underlying asset of the chain will always appreciate in value. So what that means is that every time that there's a transaction that happens on chain, a portion of the fee, the gas fee of course, that is collected will then go to purchasing or growing the underlying asset of the blockchain itself. So intrinsically, the value of the underlying asset being paired with the token itself should consistently grow the underlying value and just value in general of the blockchain itself. So rather than doing like buyback and burns of the native token, they're doing it of the paired assets and the underlying assets of the blockchain, which again intrinsically will grow the value of the blockchain, which will then of course grow the value of the pairs consistently. As long as there are transactions that are happening, this thing will consistently grow. This is not something that I've seen before. It's something that I've heard about before, but I've not seen it done before. I've not seen it executed. And the coolest part about it is this isn't just an idea. They're actually making this happening. Their current blockchain is now in the testnet and is preparing in the coming weeks and coming months to actually go live on the main net, in which this is actually doable. They've now proved already that it is possible to be done, and they are what they consider to be the very first blockchain that, as long as there are volume and transactions, it will consistently, infinitely grow to the top side. And I do think that's interesting. And as I mentioned before, knowing some of the people who are behind this that have been putting in the work, I do trust that they're actually going to be able to make this happen. I do genuinely believe that. Now, the interesting part about it is it's not just the blockchain, right? Of course, the blockchain is important, but they have multiple aspects of it, and they're currently making basically an entire ecosystem. If we go to their ecosystem, what you can see is that there's a couple different things. There's their native token, which is just going to operate like your normal native token, right? This is going to be what's listed on CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko, of course, listed on your exchanges, you trade it, etc. And we'll dive super deep into depth into all of these things in future vids. I just want to give you a base level introduction today. Obviously, then there is the Infinaeon Plus. This is the liquidity token. So whenever you want to say launch a token on their blockchain, this is the token that you're pairing with whenever you do want to, of course, go launch. This is only for liquidity. This isn't something that retail investors or anything are going to be like investing into or anything like that. And then on top of that, there's the Infinaeon gas token, which is going to be, of course, a one-to-one value to Ethereum. And the easiest way you can think about this, think about if you're trading on Base or Arbitrum, you know how you have like that base Ethereum that you need in order to do transactions? It's the same exact thing. So it's really no different there. You need it in order to use the blockchain itself, but the real primary token of the ecosystem is the Infinaeon native token. Okay. Now, on top of that, they are also going to immediately be launching some of these different things. So as you can see here, there's the bridge, there's the infinity swap, and there's auto compound staking. Now, of course, bridge, infinity swap are pretty cool, but I think the auto compound staking is more interesting because it, of course, does immediately provide value to the people who actually support the company and the project. What you can see here is that Infinaeon offers a compelling staking mechanism to incentivize long-term participation. Auto compounding rewards, in which native tokens staked for at least 1 month earn a competitive competitive 5%, 3 months earns 10%, and of course that is a much more sustainable than what we usually see. You know, a lot of the times when these companies launch, dude, they freaking launch 20%, 30%. I'm just like, you're making these promises knowing you can't keep them. And sometimes they're clear about that. Like, we're going to start at 20, 30%. We're going to have to drop it because it's unsustainable. I'm fine with that. But they make it like, you know, we're offering 20 or 30%. And if you stick, or, you know, that means if you hold your tokens for a year at this rate, then you're going to get X, Y, and Z. It's like, dude, you know, you can't maintain 20 to 30%. It's impossible. And so the fact that they're keeping it more sustainable at competitive rates shows me that they're actually thinking ahead, which is good. And they've learned their lessons from the past. Right? Now, on top of that, what you can see is that this is revenue funded. Unlike a majority of tokens in existence, the staking is funded by revenue and not gifted supply or taxed money. So as the blockchain does better, it'll then reward the people who do invest into it from more of a long-term perspective. It's almost like a dividend, right? You invest your money into a stock. You hold that stock. As the stock performs better, they generate revenue. They take a portion of that revenue and give it back to the holders. And so to some degree, it is kind of like a dividend, which I think is pretty cool. And then they do have a penalty mechanism in which unstaking before the period incurs a 30% penalty, encouraging commitment and stability. And that's normal. It usually can get up to 50%. I do think 30% is fair because at the same time, people do have things that happen in their lives. And you just got to kind of understand that whenever you are a company. Now, one thing you can see is that the Infinity Bridge itself is now live. You can't see that there. And then you, of course, do, as I did mention before, they have that Infinity Swap as well, which will feature Infinaeon Plus as its primary wrapped ETH asset, all of which is pretty damn cool. Now, this thing has been catching a lot of momentum, and it is currently, the Infinaeon native token is currently in its pre-sale phase. What you can see here currently is that it is still going. You can check this out if it's something you're interested in. They are taking the pricing, the how do I explain it? Like the daily price increase method, in which every certain amount of period of time, you will see the pre-sale itself grow in value. So for example, for this example, in 8 days, the price will increase, and then after a certain amount of time, the price will increase. And you guys know I'm a big fan of that. It's raised a ton of money doing that. I've seen a ton of companies raise millions of dollars as a result of this multi-layered pre-sale approach. I'm a big fan of it, and I do like the fact that they're implementing it. And they have started to catch a lot of this traction in their pre-sale, because you will see that they have been doing a lot of work with CoinPresso. CoinPresso is probably top 5 best and biggest marketing and PR agencies out there in the world of crypto, and they have been working very, very closely with them. They do have plans on making, you know, millions of dollars, generating millions of dollars from the marketing, be able to reinject that back into the pre-sale, or just back into the token, back into the blockchain, back into development overall. And I do think they're having a lot of success with that from what I've seen. So I do think it's very likely that they will be able to continue to do that. And so because of that, because of all of these things, it just does seem like they're going to do well. CoinPresso has done a good job of really being able to get them out there. You can see all of the different articles that they've been in here, all of the different YouTube videos that are already starting to go out. And I don't think this is a scroll wheel, but there is some scrolls in which you can go look and see the different YouTube videos that have already been released. People starting to talk about it. They're spending money on marketing. They're really gearing up to start pushing this thing, and it seems like they're going to have some success. And so because of that, what I wanted to do is just make a quick introductory video showing you who they are, what they do, why I'm investing into them, why I do like them. I'm probably going to have to do some work with my agency with them as well, bring them some YouTubers and stuff like that. So stay tuned for all of those things. And of course, if you do want to check it out yourself, obviously I'll leave all the links down in the description below for you to check out if you'd like. But of course, let me know down in the comments below, is this something you would invest into? Yes or no? Why or why not? I can't wait to have a conversation with you down there, and I can't wait to see you all next time. Peace out, everybody.